Europe's most well-known island for smuggling, and the history of smuggling on this small island in the Irish Sea goes back to the 18th century. The Isle of Man was a center for smuggling everything from brandy and tobacco to guns and even people. It was so well known for this that it was called the Smuggler's Paradise. But why did so many tourists come to this island? This mysterious island has captivated adventurers and historians alike, boasting a rich tapestry of history, culture, and astonishing tales that span centuries. Did you know that the Isle of Man boasts a unique parliament, the oldest continuous governing body in the world? Or have you heard the chilling legends of its supernatural inhabitants, from ghosts to fairies? Join us as we delve into the Isle of Man's dark and intriguing past, uncovering hidden secrets and unearthing astonishing truths that have remained buried for generations. Are you ready to explore this enigmatic island and discover its hidden mysteries? Come with us as we learn more about this European island and its past, facts, and more. 1. The Isle of Man is an island in the Irish Sea that is one of a kind. It is not part of the UK or the EU, but it is a British Crown dependency with its own government. The island has a government of its own, government and the way the law works. 2. About 80,000 people live on the island, which is smaller than Singapore and a little bigger than Guam. 3. Around 8,500 years ago, melted glaciers caused the sea level to rise, cutting Mesolithic Britain off from the rest of Europe. This made the Isle of Man an island. Before this time, there was a land bridge between the Isle of Man and Cumbria, and people have lived on the island since Irish colonists made it their home. 4. People think that the Isle of Man TT, the biggest motorbike race in the world, is one of the most dangerous races in the world because it is held there every year. 5. Man has the oldest government that has been going on for a long time. Several countries say they are the rightful owners of this name, but man's parliament has been standing without a break since 979. 6. Tinvald has given the island the freedom to do things differently than the countries around it. In 1881, when no other country had done so, it gave women the right to vote in national elections. 7. Since they were brought to the Isle of Man in the 1800s, there have been a lot of wallabies living there. 8. Manx are people who were born on the Isle of Man. Manx is also the name of their language. 9. The Manx language, also called Manx Gaelic, is an old language that comes from the Celtic past of the island. It sounds a lot like Irish and Scottish Gaelic, but it also has a little bit of Old Norse from when the Vikings came to this area. The language is thought to be in danger of dying out. 10. Island of Man has a long history of theft, going back hundreds of years. The rough coastline and secret coves of the island make it the perfect place for smugglers to land their illegal goods. William Cannell Canal, also known as the Minx Captain, was the most well-known pirate on the island. People think he made a lot of money by sneaking things between the Isle of Man and the rest of Britain. 11. There is no tail on a Manx cat. If you've ever seen a cat without a tail, it was probably a Manx cat. The breed also has a round head and very big back legs. 12. Spuds and herring, or pratas and heron in the Manx language, is an island dish that is well known. There are fish, potatoes, onions, and butter in this dish. 13. With a temperature like the ocean island of Man, it rains every month of the year, and the island's normal temperature is 15 degrees Celsius, which is about 59 degrees Fahrenheit. The island is dry on average 160 days a year, but only 81% of the time. 14. The Isle of Man has a unique road system, and there is no national speed limit. However, there are recommended speed limits for certain places. 15. The Manx logo is a type of sheep that lives on the island. It is known for having 4 or 6 horns. They are also very rare. At one point, there were only 43 of this breed of sheep left in the world. 16. The island is the only whole place in the world to be named a UNESCO sphere. It has a lot of natural areas and is surrounded by beautiful glens. 17. The Sound and Calf of Man Point of Airy are 2 beautiful places to visit. Spanish Hedgervik Beach, the Glen Maysneville Tinwald Arboretum, and Brada Head. 18. The Isle of Man is where the Bee Gees come from. I thought they were from down under. Nope, the Bee Gees are not all the same. Maurice, Robin, and Barry were all born on the Isle of Man. Their family later moved to Australia, but they were born on the Isle of Man. 19. The Mexican government makes the Manx, which is the currency of the Isle of Man. Outside of the island, you can't spend Manx money anywhere. 20. The UK and the USA are split by a fault line. The Lepidus Seam is in the Irish Sea, but one of our favorite spots on the Isle of Man, Niarbyl, lets us see it. The Niarbyl crack shows where Avalonia and Laurentia Avalonia, which is now England, used to be joined together while Laurentia was a part of North America and, strangely, Scotland. 21. The ferry bridge is one of the most fun things about the island. There are actually 2. The real one is somewhere in the woods, and the one everyone visits is on the main road. You have to say hello to the fairies as you pass, or you'll have bad luck. 22. Saint Margold, an Irish priest, is thought to have converted the island to Christianity. The island's name comes from Manon, which is the British and Gaelic word for Neptune. 23. In 2006, the island chose to give 16 and 17-year-olds the right to vote as well. This made it the first place in the British Isles to do so. 24. Nerville Bay is a beautiful, quiet spot on the west coast of the island, just south of Dalby Village. It is also a geologically interesting place. At Nerville Beach, you can put one foot on a rock from one continent and the other foot on a rock from another continent. 25. Since 1907, the Isle of Man has been the site of the International Isle of Man TT Tourist Trophy Race. In 1907, the Manx Parliament passed a rule that said the roads on Man could be closed for the race. When the race isn't going on, the street is just like any other street. 26. The Triskelion is the sign for the Isle of Man. The Triskelion is an old Celtic sign that is made up of a quadruple spiral and rotational symmetry. 27. If you stop your car on a hill on the Isle of Man, it will start going back up the hill. Of course, it's just a trick of the eye, but it's a very strange one. The name of the hill is Magnetic Hill. 28. The Isle of Man is known for its narrow gauge trains, which are popular with tourists. 29. The tax rate on the island of Man is low. Key parts of the business are financial services, making things, and tourism. The government makes it easy for high-tech companies and banking institutions to move to the island by giving low taxes and other benefits. 30. 3 legs is the old national symbol of the Isle of Man, and its saying, "Throw it any way, it will stand," showed that the people there are strong and resourceful.